On the ground, the flashing feet of Tony Dorsett will carry the Cowboy load. Earl Campbell and his powerful Pistons will provide Houston with their spark. Both teams feature rock-ribbed defenses. Holding forward on Houston's right side is all-pro linebacker Robert Brazile. But for Dallas, the familiar face of number 56, Thomas Hollywood Henderson, will be missing from the lineup. We'll have more on that later. Cowboy and Oiler fans have been pointing towards this Lone Star Showdown for quite some time, so hang on to your hats. It's Dallas versus Houston. We'll have that and a lot more today on NFL 79.
NBC Sports presents NFL 79, an inside look at professional football and a preview of today's game. Brought to you by the new 1980 Volkswagen Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. And by these fine products from G. Heilman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and other cities.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Mike Animley here in Texas Stadium on a brisk but sunny afternoon in Dallas, Texas. And the atmosphere, if you cannot feel it, well, it's absolutely electric. And why not? The state championship of Texas is on the line. My partner, Brian Gumbel, is holding fort in New York. Brian, your perceptions.
Well, Mike, first off, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you.
Before my perceptions, I'm full of questions. First one off, Dante Pastorini suffered an eye injury last week. What's his condition?
They took an eye patch off of his eye on Tuesday. He is healthy and he will start.
The Dallas Cowboys have lost 3 of their last 4, winning their only one in the last 4 weeks by just 2 points in the final play. What's their mental condition?
I don't think they've ever been more ready mentally. The adversity has brought them together.
Okay, third question is, Hollywood Henderson, number 56, been dominating the news out of Dallas. What have you been able to learn about him?
Well, if the Hollywood Henderson scenario was a Western movie, it might be entitled This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. Last week against Washington, no tackles, no assists, but it was his antics off the field that turned Coach Tom Landry and many of his teammates, including D.D. Lewis, against him.
Well, D.D. Lewis is a very prejudiced individual, and he's a no-talent linebacker. He's been in the league 11 years, and only honor he's ever got was talking about me. So somebody that little doesn't bother me.
We were in Washington. Nobody liked us up there. All the fans, we were getting beat. We needed everybody on the side pulling together, helping the guys that are on the field. I didn't feel that from Thomas. I think that he didn't feel anything at all up there.
Cliff Harris played football good years ago. I'm just saying that people talk about me need to sit back and evaluate themselves. Quit trying to point a finger and say he was our problem.
The demands you were talking about that Coach Landry made on you, you described them as unique. Were you treated different than other Cowboy players, do you believe?
Well, I think that I had to do the same thing everybody else did, but under the watchful eye.
What did you mean when you said that the Cowboys organization has a tradition of doing this sort of thing? If you don't believe me, you can ask Dwayne Thomas, Gene Fugate, or Bob Hayes.
Or Craig Morton, Montgomery, Pete Gent. I mean, it's traditional. No player plays forever, and there's always a point in his career, like Golden Richard, you get traded. Like Doug Dennison, you get cut. Like Todd Christensen, you get cut. You work hard in the off season. So you never know what you have to do to be a Dallas Cowboy.
With Thomas Hollywood Henderson out of the lineup, Mike Hegman will get a start against the Oilers today. Already today, this ball game has been going on late in the fourth quarter. A surprise, the Lions out in front of the Bears 20-0 at Pontiac. Walter Payton came into the game. He has been treated roughly, very roughly by the Detroit defense. Take a look at this. Walter has carried 18 times, just 54 yards. By contrast, quarterback Jeff Comlow has been having a terrific day, over 240 yards passing. Here he hits Leonard Thompson, who fights his way down into the end zone for a score. And then in the fourth quarter, from the goal line, Rick Kane takes it over. Detroit out in front 20-0, going for their first ever Thanksgiving Day shutout. 4 weeks ago, we had a look at a most unusual coach, part 2 of a very human story, right after this.
You can play most all the video games you've ever wanted to play. It's the video game system from Sears. You can play up to 371 video games, all on cartridges. This cartridge of 27 Target games comes with it. And now the video game system from Sears is only $139.99. A super value for Christmas. Sears, where America shops for value.
Monsieur, why are you driving a Volkswagen Rabbit?
Because it is so French.
But the Rabbit isn't a French car.
Not a French car, French.
I don't get it.
She's very rapid. She handles extraordinaire, and she's chic.
Chic. The Rabbit's just a good basic car.
Oui, and the soufflé is just eggs.
Volkswagen does it again.
God's country is home to the majestic eagle, one of the few places left where this proud bird still thrives and enjoys air that is pure and water that runs crisp and clear. God's country is also home to Old Style.
Receive responses about features we do on NFL 79. Perhaps none more positive than the ones we received about a touching story concerning a high school coach. This being Thanksgiving Day, let's look back. Earlier this season, we visited Morgan, Utah to profile a high school coach named Jan Smith. Jan is a 29-year-old former collegiate running back who 7 years ago learned he had multiple sclerosis, a degenerative disease with no known cure. But Jan believes coaching is done with the mind and not the body. So he perseveres with the love of his daughters and the literal support of his wife, Diane.
If you have something, don't put it second. Set it high and achieve it. Don't take second best to anything. And he's taught me that. He has given me courage in myself if I want something to go after it. He says, I hold you back from things you could do, but he really doesn't. Because this is what I want.
I don't know how she's done it, to be honest with you. She may at times live the agony, I guess, more closely than I do myself. She does everything for me. She's my #1 assistant. At times she's even the head coach. But I think she also realizes that football is a big part of my life.
Yeah. Since we first visited with Jan Smith, the Morgan High Trojans have torn through their schedule like a tiny tornado. 11 opponents, 11 straight victories. And Jan Smith has gained strength from each one. So it comes down to this final moment, the Utah Class 2A State Championship. Morgan High has gone through the season undefeated, 11-0. However, their opponent this afternoon, Millard High School, has won 25 consecutive games. You know, Morgan's not the biggest or fastest high school team in the country, but they are definitely a reflection of their coach. And for Jan Smith this afternoon, it's not just a quest for the state championship, it's the biggest day of his life.
Okay, a few things. Personal best today. This got to be your best game you've ever played in your whole life. Okay? We're not up for this one. We won't be up for anything the rest of our lives. Personal best. Make this every play, every single play be the best play you've ever played. Hey, we've got to get on Millard right away. Every man has got a responsibility. You guys have provided a lot of joy for me. I've loved every minute with you guys this whole season. You guys are going to come off the field winners today, but I could give a crap what happens in a ball game. I love each and every one of you guys, and you guys mean a lot to me. That's my whole life. You guys are the whole thing. We play a game like we did last week, gentlemen. You'll be state champions 1979.
fell behind early, but Jan Smith and his determined players had come too far to be turned back now.
Now listen, tell the damn quick tackle that he's got to make his block. That's what screwed it up last time.
Okay, I'll take it down. Go, 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 Archie. Swing it, swing wide, swing, go. Get it, get it, get it.
Congratulations on Morgan's first undefeated high school season, man.
Thanks a lot.
Not a bad feeling, huh?
Great feeling. Great feeling.
Congratulations.
In his day, Bob Hayes was an all-pro. Now number 22 is a man behind bars. A look at his life as it is today when we come back. Me as a Dallas Cowboys hero, past and present. Bob Hayes as pass receiver, Bob Hayes as prisoner. Perhaps because we like to remember our heroes without the human imperfections, the story of Bob Hayes is a particularly difficult one to retell.
Thanksgiving's the time of year when you kind of gather the family around the dining room table and count your blessings. But at this prison in Midway, Texas, there'll be no family gatherings. There are 2,000 inmates in there. One of them is number 290273. Does it ring a bell? How about number 22, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, Bob Hayes? In 1964 at the Tokyo Olympics, Bob Hayes set a world's record in the 100 meters to become the world's fastest human. 1 year later, he made the All-Pro team as a rookie for the Dallas Cowboys, 1,000 yards and receptions, 12 TDs. For 10 years, Bob Hayes terrorized NFL defensive backs. He retired in 1974. In 1979, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for selling illegal drugs to an undercover narcotics agent. It's the all-too-familiar story of the rise and the fall of a professional athlete.
Basically, you're living a real good life. You know, you got a lot of money in your pocket. You got a lot of money in the bank. You know, you're living in the best of hotels. You're eating the best of food. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, you can't eat that food. You can't go and take a shower and throw the towel on the floor if you like. You can't get on an airplane and ride first class around the country. It's a completely different turnaround for me. Now, you know, everything that I do basically is supervision over me. Folks that are looking at me, of course, that I got to play a very vital part because these teenagers, everything I do around here, they got their eyes on me. And, you know, it's very difficult. Once you're free, you're freedom to do what you like. But here, you know, you got to be very particular.
Bob Hayes revolutionized the game of pro football with blazing speed. The legs that carried him 100 meters to Olympic glory earned him the nickname Bullet Bob Hayes in football. Instead of medals, the rewards were touchdowns. In 10 years, 76 of them. Hayes' impact on pro football sent scouts hurrying to track meets, and while sprinters like Henry Carr, Jim Hines, Frank Budd, and Earl McCullough all played professionally, they could not measure up to Bullet Bob's success. He went on to become the leading scorer and receiver in Dallas history. Number 22 helped Dallas win their first Super Bowl and put a rare smile on the face of Coach Tom Landry. When the Cowboys celebrated their 20th anniversary earlier this season, Hayes was granted permission to attend. It was a special privilege, one he does not often ask for.
But I have not asked for any special treatments. You know, I'm a big boy. I'm grown, and I can handle the situation, and that I wouldn't want any. This is a lesson for me, and that I have adjusted to it, and I'm just deep down, I'm very satisfied the way I have reacted and how I have adjusted to society.
Hayes was one of the most popular and well-liked Cowboys. His conduct was beyond reproach. Thus, the announcement of his arrest stunned the organization, especially Tom Landry.
I was really disappointed. I was really kind of shocked that that he would let himself fall into a situation which is obviously you could have prevented very easily. Bobby Hayes, as long as he was in our organization, there was no reason to ever believe that he would ever come across the law at any time because he was a fine person.
I believe there's always a silver lining in every cloud, and that I believe I can come out and handle it. I paid the price of what have happened, and you know, you just can't continue to, you know, to stick someone in the back because they made a mistake. No one is perfect. I feel that I get a better reaction out there now than I did before. I tell you, I'm just as popular with something negative that have happened to me than I were when it was all positive.
It's very difficult when you have been idolized, you know, like Bobby Hayes has, as a track man, as a football player, and then all of a sudden you're an ex-con, which is not really something that is easy to handle. I believe that Bobby will come through on the thing because I think he'll have a lot of friends that will help him, you know, to get over those hurdles that he's going to have to face when he comes out. And we just all wish him the best, really.
Bob Hayes can file for parole in February, but there's no guarantee that it'll be granted. In any event, once he gets out, the road back to society is a long run. But then long runs are one thing Bob always did best.
Both the Houston and Dallas pro football franchises were born in 1960. A trip down memory lane, Texas style, when we come back.
1960, it might have been a rout. Houston was the kingpins in the old AFL. Dallas struggled in the NFL. Both teams today are on top, although their organizations took markedly different routes to get there.
Way back in 1960, when the American Football League was formed, one of the new clubs was the Houston Oilers, the team that put the AFL on the map. In those days, nobody really knew for sure whether or not the new league was going to make it. But there wasn't a football fan alive who didn't enjoy watching Oiler greats like Billy Cannon, George Blanda, Charlie Hennigan, and Willard Duval. Yes, sir, they was exciting. And mean? Why, them old Oilers were nastier than a coyote in a henhouse. A real shoot-'em-up bunch. And there wasn't nobody who did more to enhance that rough and tumble image than that little human cannonball Charlie Tola.
Well, I don't think the owner contributed to it. You know, we felt like that we was any bar room we got in, we could take care of ourselves, though. But and we've been in a few bar rooms, you know, I'll tell you. But we just felt like we could, whether it be in a bar room or on the football field, that we could take care of ourselves and accomplish what we set out to do when we first walked in there.
Charlie and his boys played ball in old Jefferson Stadium, but they didn't have it all to themselves, because in those days they shared it with the Houston area high schools.
I recall when we had our 20-year reunion that all the players came out to take another team picture here at Jefferson Stadium, and one of the most unusual things that all the players and myself commented on it was that the field had some grass on it, and it was great to see grass. We'd love to know what it'd be like to play on in grass. I can recall in one of our championship games, they came out, and to get a little more color for television reasons, they even came out and painted the dirt green.
For Charlie Tola, a visit at Jefferson Stadium is like a stroll down memory lane to a time when the Oilers was the kingpins of Texas football.
We felt like at that time we were the premier team, definitely of the AFL, and Dallas was, you know, they were just beginning. No, there's no doubt we'd want to play them in, you know. They were a pure bunch of mullets back in those days.
Come to think of it, the Dallas Cowboys didn't exactly tear up the league their first few years, as one old cowboy remembers.
The year I came, we had a very impressive record. We started playing 14 games, and I think we won 3, tied 1, and lost 10. But you knew that Coach Leonard knew what he's talking about.
The coach probably did know what he was trying to say in those huddles, but when the players mapped it out, something invariably got lost in the translation. It wasn't easy being a Cowboy fan back then. But that Landry was patient, just like a banker. Kept invested in those fine young college players till one day his account yielded big dividends. That was in Super Bowl VI, the day Bob Lilly and his herd stampeded the Dolphins right out of Tulane Stadium. Since then, Landry's bunch has been in a whole mess of Super Bowls, and they just might go back again this year. Wouldn't it be something if the other hat tossed in that Super Bowl ring was 10-gallon?
2 Texas teams in a Super Bowl, well, we're just going to play it in Austin. We're not going to play it in California. We're just going to vote to play it in Austin. Because if it's only Texas people playing it, you might as well have it where the Texas people can see them. I said, if you think we're obnoxious now, you ought to let that happen, and you'd find out how obnoxious Texas people can be.
I think Bum Phillips is right. Some Texans might be tough to live with if it was a Houston-Dallas Super Bowl. But, Michael, I get the feeling down there that the players considered this day a Super Bowl.
No question about it. You know, all week long, the nation has been questioning Dallas's character. This afternoon will be a real gut check for the Cowboys, and I think they'll respond.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much. Enjoy the game. Mike and I will be back with you at halftime and after the game, but it's that time again. Time for us to step aside and give way to 2 other gentlemen in Texas, Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. Happy Thanksgiving, gents.
The eyes of Texas and the nation are on this key NFL game featuring 2 first-place teams. Houston in the AFC Central tied with Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh. Cleveland just 1 game back. Host Dallas, after 2 straight defeats, finds itself in a 3-way tie for first with the Redskins and the Eagles. So plenty at stake today at Irving, Texas Stadium. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, and a happy Thanksgiving to you. A day of tradition and sentiment and warmth and family, and all of things apply to this game today. It's a game of emotion, and perhaps these 2 teams as high as they'll be all season long.
A lot of emotion in the locker room, but still time for the players on both teams, a number of them, to say, be sure and wish my family or my mom and dad a happy Thanksgiving. They didn't forget the families, and they want some turkey saved, by the way, too, if you could do that. But tremendous emotion, Dick. This is a natural AFC-NFC rivalry. There's part of that, then the Houston-Dallas rivalry, the Texas championship. You have the build from that. The fact that 26 other teams are watching, their peers are watching at home, a national television game. Tremendous emotion building on that, and also some natural animosity between these 2 teams. I think especially on the side of Houston, they feel like they've been treated like poor relatives for a long time. They'd like to have some revenge for that. They'd like their day in the sun today.
Well, they have a better record going in, and this is a Thanksgiving football game complete with all the trimmings. And in one area, well, some of the very best morsels that you'd want to sample. Running back, number 34, Earl Campbell, to lead the Houston Oilers. NFL's top rusher last year. The big guy from Texas, the power to run over people, the speed and an agility to get around them and break the long gainer.
Earl Campbell is not the only great runner on this field. Tony Dorsett only needs 91 yards to become the 2nd back in the history of the NFL ever to top 1,000 yards in his first 3 years. He'll not run over you, but he will run away from you, and he's tough to catch.
And at quarterback for the Houston Oilers, Dan Pastorini, hit in the eye in the game Sunday against Cincinnati. Although it looks ugly, he's going to be all right. They say he's throwing the football better than he has since this summer. That complements the running game of Campbell.
On the other side, Roger Staubach, 37 years old, can still hurt you almost as much running as he can throwing the football. Great mobility and a great quarterback.
Thomas Henderson also part of the story, but one thing for sure, the players have pointed out, whoever wins can be thankful today. They'll stay in first place. It's been termed a desperate Dallas against a confident Houston. Executive producer Don Olmeyer.
It's a pleasure for me today to have an opportunity to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving from the Dallas Cowboy team and our organization.
For all the people that are not fortunate enough to live in the state of Texas, I'd like to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
And from all of us at NBC Sports, a happy, warm Thanksgiving hello from Irving, Texas. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. We're pleased you joined us. Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys have lost 2 in a row against the Houston Oilers. Bum Phillips has his team headed toward the playoffs.
And the bum in his usual senatorial attire with his cowboy hat and his boots on the sideline. A cool day here in Dallas, Dick, and some great football weather. The kind of day you love to play on because you can literally run all day.
Tony Frisch, who started his NFL career after coming here from Austria with the Dallas Cowboys, now kicking for the Houston Oilers, will send it deep to Steve Wilson, 81, Ron Springs, number 20, 2 rookies for the Cowboys. A game on which you can measure much of this NFL season and the hopes of both teams heading toward possible playoff spots. A sidewinder that skips to Springs. Springs from Ohio State at the 15. He's out to the 25, and they're buried in the Columbia blue of the Houston Oilers, spearheaded by Guido Merkins, number 12. The Cowboys take the field with the veteran Roger Staubach at quarterback, Tony Dorsett, and Robert Newhouse in the backfield. Wide receivers, veteran Drew Pearson, Tony the Thrill Hill, and at tight end, Billy Joe Dupre. Cowboys have played the Oilers only twice in the regular season and have won both. Staubach throws on first down. He hits Pearson. Tackled immediately at the 31. It's a gain of 5. J.C. Wilson, left corner, made the hit for the Oilers. Let's check that Dallas offensive line. Pat Donovan at left tackle. Herb Scott, left guard. Then Robert Shaw, the rookie, is at center. Could be a key position for Dallas today. Tom Rafferty at right guard. And the veteran Big Cat Rayfield Wright starting at right tackle for Jim Cooper. 2nd and 5 for Staubach, the number 1 passer in the National Football League on the rating system. On 2nd and 5, it's Dorsett. Fine move by Dorsett, using his speed to drive near a first down across the 35. Greg Stemrick finally corralled him.
You talked about that key matchup in there between Shaw and Culp. Culp gets around nicely, but watch him here as he misses a tackle. What should have been an easy tackle on Tony Dorsett. Dorsett makes the most of it. Number 33 breaks away for the first down, or what appears to be first down yardage.
We'll have our first official measurement of the day, and while they measure for a Dallas first down or not, let's check the defensive alignment for the Oilers. It is not a first down, 3rd and inches. The Oilers set up defensively in that 3-4 front. With Andy Doris at left end, Curly Culp at the nose guard, and Elvin Bethea at right end. 4 linebackers, Ted Washington, Greg Bingham, rookie Darrell Hunt, and Robert Brazil. J.C. Wilson at one corner, Greg Stemrick at the other, and the safeties for the Oilers, Vernon Perry, and the man who leads the NFL in interceptions, Mike Reinfeldt. He has 12 in the first 12 games.
That 12 is one more than the entire Dallas team with 11. An amazing stat for that young man.
3rd and less than a yard at the 35. Jay Soldi in motion. Newhouse has running room. 40. And he's all the way to the 44. A gain of 9. First down, Dallas. Robert Newhouse, the 3rd Cowboy to rush for more than 4,000 yards in a career.
Some concern here in Dallas about the output of that fullback position. Newhouse has been injured during part of this year. He's splitting time with Scott Laidlaw. You just saw Laidlaw coming into the game, running the plays in from the sideline. If Dallas can run the football, and they've started out running well, they can give Houston all they want today, Dick.
Merlin, we referred to Dallas as being a desperate team. That seems strange for Club 8 and 4, but they've really had their problems of late, and there's much concern in the camp of Dallas. Staubach to throw. Going deep. Drew Pearson is open. Touchdown! Staubach to Pearson. Dallas scores.
There is no more beautiful play in all of football than the long bomb. And Drew Pearson and Roger Staubach have teamed up to form one of the best combinations in the NFL. At least there's nothing more beautiful for Dallas fans. Not nearly so pretty for the Houston Oilers. But look at this perfectly thrown pass, and look at the range that he opened up on J.C. Wilson. Drew just pulled away beautifully, spikes it into the end zone. 6 points. They'll go for the 7th.
Pearson in his 99th consecutive game gets the bomb. Here's Rafael Septien's kick. It's good. So the Cowboys take the kickoff and score immediately on a Staubach to Pearson pass. 7-0 Dallas.
Quick look at Drew Pearson. He just runs right past J.C. Wilson, who apparently could not believe that they were just going to run it up on him. But there it is. It's almost too easy, and I'm sure that's something that will concern Tom Landry a little bit. He wants his team to sustain that kind of emotion throughout this game.
56 yards for the touchdown, Drew Pearson. Just underway, 2 minutes gone. Dallas leads 7-0. Roger Staubach, the veteran from Navy, has thrown a long touchdown pass. Dallas leads 7-0. Just 2 minutes plus gone as Septien kicks it off. Carter Hartwig at the 10. Rookie from USC breaks out at the 25 and down at the 30. The tackle made by Aaron Kyle, number 21 for Dallas. Dan Pastorini takes his team onto the field, and with him in the backfield, the great second-year man from Texas, Earl Campbell, and the blocking back, Tim Wilson of Maryland. Wide receivers, veteran Richard Castor on one side, Ken Burrow 0-0 on the other, with a tight end, Mike Barber. Pastorini shooting at 49% on the season. Slips at the 33. It'll be 2nd and 7. And had he stayed on his feet, there was just one man to run over, and you know Big Earl can do that. Offensive line blocking for Pastorini and Campbell. Left to right along that front, Leon Gray, the former Patriot, at left tackle. Conway Heyman at left guard. The veteran center is Carl Mock. On the right side, Ed Fisher and Morris Towns. 2nd down, call it a short 7. Pastorini's first throw complete to the tight end Barber, rocketed out of bounds at the 38-yard line, short of a first down. Randy Hughes came over from his safety spot to make the hit. 3rd down and about a yard and a half for Houston. John Dutton makes his first start as a from Baltimore now with Dallas. Larry Cole moves inside at left tackle. Larry Bethea at right tackle. And Harvey Martin, top pass rusher on the right side for Dallas. The linebackers for the Cowboys and the D-backs will check for you. 3rd down, less than 2. Campbell, first down and more. 50, 40, 30, 20. Touchdown, Houston. Oh, my, what a start to this one. 61 yards for Campbell.
A tremendous offensive explosion by Dallas to start the game, and Houston answers the call. Earl Campbell, 61 yards down the sideline, and that man with all of his strength just ran away from the Dallas defense.
Now Campbell in short yardage, and once he broke through, he still had the speed to beat the defensive backs.
The danger of short yardage always. You stack your people at the line of scrimmage, and if you break clean, you really have to run them down from behind. No one was going to catch Earl Campbell on that play.
That's the longest run this year by the Oilers. Tony Frisch into the fading sun, and he hits it right down the middle. So Staubach to Pearson, 56 yards. Earl Campbell counters with a 61-yard gallop. And here in Irving, Texas, we played 3 minutes, 18 seconds, and both teams have 7. So an electrical start here on this Thanksgiving Day in the Dallas area. Tony Frisch. Cowboys at the other end are Steve Wilson, Ron Springs, Earl Campbell, What a player. Deep to Springs, short hops it. Hits it at the 6. To the 21-yard line goes Ron Springs. It'll be Dallas starting at that point. Let's go back to the touchdown by Campbell and look at the blocking in front of number 34.
Mike Barber, number 86, right there, gets it started with a fine block on Dede Lewis. Ed Fisher, number 60, comes out, shields Bob Brunig, 53, and from there on out, it's all Earl Campbell, and he just fires those big thighs of his down the field. What a tremendous touchdown. 7 plays, already 2 touchdowns. An explosive start to this Thanksgiving Day game.
Dallas tied at 7. Just underway. 11 and a half minutes left in the first quarter. Robert Newhouse gets out to about the 25-yard line. Robert Brazil, 52. And Greg Bingham, 54. 2 of the Houston linebackers in on the stop. The dean of the NFL coaches, Tom Landry, in his 20th year, and perhaps never more perplexed since, back in the early days when the Cowboys won rarely.
Dick, I asked him, I said, what is wrong? You really have stumbled in the last 4 weeks. You were actually lucky by their own admission to win in that New York Giant game. He said, I wish I knew. I can't put my finger on it.
Even the computer age isn't giving him the answers. 2nd down and 6. Little trap, and it's Newhouse pulling his way near the 28-yard line. Culp and Brazil and company to make the tackle. It's short of the first down and brings up 3rd and about 3.
We talked about a critical matchup in the center between Curly Culp and Robert Shaw. You see it right here. Shaw trying to turn Culp, but number 78 is battle-wise. Works right across his head and gets a piece. But Shaw, to his credit, stayed with Culp all the way, would not give up, and actually ended up neutralizing Curly, although the play does not go for the first down. It's going to be 3rd and about 3 yards to go, Dick.
Shaw, the rookie at center, that may take away some of that spread formation of the Cowboys that requires the blind snap done so well by John Fitzgerald, who's injured. First down is Preston Pearson, the oldest running back in the National Football League, makes another reception. What fine receiver he is.
In an age of specialists, the Dallas Cowboys are very happy to have number 26 back in the lineup. He spent a good part of the year injured, but watch him here. He knows how to run defenses perfectly, and he runs some of the best pass patterns in football, finds the open spot. Greg Bingham gets there, but too late, and it's a first down for the Dallas Cowboys.
Hurt this year, Pearson with not his usual total. He caught 47 last year. First down, Dallas, 7-7 tie, 9.5 minutes left first quarter. Ball at the 37, and it's Newhouse. He was stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Brazil. Was able to break out of his tackle, and Culp downed him near the 40-yard line. Call it the 39 and make it 2nd and 8.
Both of the lines for Dallas have come under pressure this year. The offensive line being criticized for not doing a better job of blocking. The defense being criticized for not getting the right amount of pressure on the passer. Rayfield Wright has gone back in to play right tackle. They feel that his leadership might help motivate that offensive line.
Hill is to the left, Drew Pearson to the right. Newhouse and Dorsett behind Staubach. Complete to Dorsett. Straightened immediately at the 45-yard line. Greg Stemrick and Greg Bingham made the sandwich stop. It'll be 3rd and a long 2.
Very quick ball reaction from the Houston backfield, but Staubach is finding open receivers, and in spite of some very tough work going on the line of scrimmage, he does have time to throw that football here early in the ball game.
And Staubach already facing Merlin Olsen his third down situation. He passed for the first down the last time, and it was the run by Newhouse that kept the opening touchdown drive alive. Let's see what he calls on 3rd and a long 2 from his 45. Out of bounds at the Houston 43, first down. So Staubach is 3 for 3.
Staubach using Dorsett more and more as a receiver and trying to get the football into the hands of his best runner in the open field. Dorsett does an excellent job on this play, finding himself open, but good blocking to free up Roger to get in time for to throw that football. Look how open Dorsett is. Turns up the sideline. does make the first down. They're in Oiler territory at the 43, 44-yard line, 1st and 10.
And that play action really froze the line. They did not know where the ball was, as you saw in that replay. Pearson in motion. Delay handoff, and Newhouse, even with the confusion in the backfield, gets a couple of yards down to the Houston 41. And Staubach, as he walks back toward the huddle, head down thinking that went over. That's not exactly how it was drawn up.
Credit Elvin Bethea, number 65, with great penetration. Watch him coming in from the left side of your picture. He forces his man so deep that he puts the guard right into Newhouse. Actually knocked the guard down. That's what caused the confusion. Just a good defensive play. Newhouse does a fine job of getting back beyond the line of scrimmage. Actually picks up 3 yards on the play.
Second down and 7. Both wide receivers to the right. And Staubach to throw. Pearson down at the 17-yard line, and Dallas marching toward the go-ahead score.
Rodgers got them on their feet. He's got the emotion charged here in Dallas. Tom Landry said what we need is a good win. We need an explosive performance to get back on track. Staubach is doing what he can. Boy, you can't throw that ball anymore perfectly. Greg Bingham had his hands up, just missed his finger.
Drew Pearson now has 46 catches. That ties him with Tony Hill. He married Marcus Haynes, the great dribbling Globetrotters daughter. And he's always had that facility to be open. He's as clever with his feet as his father-in-law was with his hands. First down at the 16. Tony Dorsett at the 5-yard line and down inside the 5. Flag is down, and that one might be called back. The first penalty of the game.
Tom Landry expressing some concern on the sideline. I'm sure he's very happy with the way this game has started out. Coach Landry said he kind of wished he'd have had a full week of preparation this week because he wanted to evaluate exactly what could be done to change the fortune of the Cowboys. Well, right now, what looked to be great field position has been marched back 10 yards.
Here's referee Gordon McCarter. And Gordon did work on his electronics. His microphone is inoperative. That is controlled by the National Football League.
He was calling a holding penalty, however, and of course the ball moves back to the 25-yard line. Instead of having the ball inside the 5, Staubach's going to have to work to get it into scoring territory.
Pass situation, but they're not in the shotgun, and that may be because of the injury to Fitzgerald with the rookie Shaw over the ball. Up the middle, Dorsett, and he gets about 4 to the 21-yard line. That did not fool the Oilers.
Having John Fitzgerald, their regular center, out of the lineup does put them at a disadvantage. Not only are they having to play a rookie at a critical position against Curly Culp, who's one of the toughest nosemen in the league, but also you just can't afford to make a mistake out of that spread formation. Staubach is back, and in one earlier game when Shaw got in, snapped the ball over his head, ended up in a touchdown for the other team. They certainly would not like to have that happen here.
Shaw was the Cowboys' #1 draft pick this year out of Tennessee. Second down, 15. From the 21. Screen. Newhouse. He's got running room. 20, 15, 5. Touchdown. Oh, was that beautifully executed?
Not only beautifully executed, but they caught the Houston Oilers in exactly the wrong defense. It's a blitz by both outside linebackers, which takes away the opportunity to react quickly to this screen. And Newhouse sees the opening, takes it, makes the last cut there. That field looks a little slippery, but it didn't get him over, didn't get him down. He gets into the end zone. Rafael Septien in to try and make it 14-7, and wow, what fireworks here in Dallas.
21 yards, Newhouse untouched for the score. Septien out of White's hold. And Dallas has 7 more. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We had 3 touchdowns already. Dallas 14 7. Roger Staubach has driven his team 74 and 79 yards for touchdowns in this first quarter and has thrown to Drew Pearson and Robert Newhouse to give Dallas 14-7 lead. Kickoff by Septien, and out of bounds steps Carter Hartwig at the 14-yard line. That one, as if it had eyes, forced Hartwig right to the sidelines, and even though he tried to elude the out-of-bounds marker, could not. Let's check the defense. Linebackers and deep backs for the Cowboys as they come on the field. We told you about the front four and a rebuilt front four with John Dutton starting for the first time. Mike Hegman for Tom Henderson at one linebacker spot. Bob Brunick, the middle backer, and on the right side, the veteran D.D. Lewis. Richard Castor slotted left. Kenborough wide left, first down at the 14. Campbell hit in the backfield, breaks a tackle, and vaults out to the 21-yard line. Randy Hughes finally downed him. A gain of 7 for Campbell.
Mike Hegman certainly must feel a great deal of pressure out on that field today, Dick. As you said, he is taking Henderson's place, and I'm sure a lot of attention focused on him. Right here, the attention is focused on him by number 86, Mike Barber, who does just a fine job of sealing him off to the inside. And I'm sure that's not the way he pictured starting this second series.
Barber, we caught him throwing 2 outstanding blocks already on that right side, the tight end Barber.
They're glad to have him back in the lineup after hurting a knee earlier in the year.
2nd and 3, and this time it's Campbell burrowing out near the 24-yard line. It'll be very close to a first down. John Dutton, an All-American at Nebraska and an All-Pro at Baltimore, made the tackle. Defensive backs for the Dallas Cowboys, the men in the silver helmets and the blue stars, are featured this way. Benny Barnes at the left corner, and Aaron Kyle from Wyoming on the right side. The safeties, Randy Hughes and Cliff Harris, the veteran Harris, All-Pro 4 times.
Cliffy Harris playing hurt, too. Has got a problem with an arch, as a number of players are this late in the season. In fact, we've got a lot of them out there operating without totally being in control of those knees and elbows and arms and so forth. Talked about Mike Barber. He still has some instability in that knee. Cliffy Harris, a courageous football player, does not want to come out of that lineup.
First down, Houston at the 24. 14-7 Dallas. Wilson in motion, play action. Pastorini's first throw, he's in trouble and throws it away. It was nearest to Earl Campbell, but that was just a matter of Pastorini unloading. John Dutton and Larry Bethea putting the pressure on Pastorini.
Dick, you talked about the rebuilt front line. Right here, they get good pressure on Pastorini as Dutton breaks through, and you see him just necktying there along with Bethea, who's gotten pressure. But certainly one of the things that had to concern Tom Landry is that Dallas has not been able to put the kind of pressure on opposing quarterbacks that they wanted. Putting Dutton into the lineup, he's an excellent pass rusher, and also giving Cole a chance to move to his natural position at tackle may give them that added pressure.
Barber, the tight end, splits right. Second and 10, it's Campbell off the left side, tried to spin loose, and fortunately for the Cowboys, D.D. Lewis had a latch on Campbell. Had he not been able to keep him there, Campbell had clear sailing to the outside.
He just about got away. D.D. Lewis did get a hold of him, but man, Campbell, even with the force of that hit, literally was just pulling away, and it just took a tremendous amount of determination from D.D. By the way, he's one of the Cowboys that Tom Landry says has had the best year of any of his defenders, along with Randy White, and they'll miss him in that lineup today. Randy's out with a foot injury.
And D.D. Lewis, one of those that he would not miss, Thomas Henderson. That's Rob Carpenter short of the first down. He was nailed around the neck at the 34, and it appears to be just short of the first down. A flag goes down, and Carpenter may pick up a penalty for spiking the ball in anger at himself, I'm sure. He thought he had first down yardage and slipped.
Dennis Thurman came up and really put a tough necktie tackle on Carpenter. He may have been aggravated at that too, Dick, but you're not allowed to spike that ball until the ball is dead. Could be that we may have another kind of penalty. The Cowboys initially seemed happy at the penalty call, but let's give the officials a chance to sort it out down there.
Illegal procedure apparently against Houston. Gordon McCarter will get our NBC people down working on that mic.
Got to wonder, they're coming off the field now, so either way it's going to be 4th down. They did not pick up the first down with the play. If they take that, certainly as they go back, and they will. What's happening here?
Oh, it's after the play, so the 5 yards are tacked on. It's still 4th down.
All right. So the down will be, it does not give them a chance to have 3rd down again. They'll have to kick it away, 4th and about 6. They lose the 5 yards. And that's the first time an offensive team has been stopped in this ball game.
That's right. Dallas, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns on long marches. Houston scored on the long run by Campbell of 61 yards. And now it is Cliff Parsley averaging just under 41 yards a punt. Kicking to Wilson and Springs back at the Dallas 30. Whoops. Number 77 for the Dallas Cowboys leaning in offside. That would be
Bruce Thornton. The youngster who, I'm sure, if that had gotten the first down for the Houston Oilers, that Tom Landry would have had a little conversation, and Ernie Stotner would have had a little conversation with that young man. That's not a smart mistake. Well, no mistake is smart, but certainly that's not the kind of an error you want to make when things are going your way in a football game.
Brings up 4th and a yard. Parsley, a little more field in his advantage. Wade Manning now has joined Steve Wilson deep for Dallas. Manning just activated when Henderson was released. Beautiful kick. Steve Wilson out to the 30 and brings it back to the 33-yard line. So Dallas has the ball again. 3:35 remaining in the first quarter at Irving, Texas. Beautiful Texas Stadium where the Cowboys on this Thanksgiving lead the Oilers 14-7. 3:35 left in the first quarter, 14-7 Dallas. Let's see, normally about this time I'd be getting into a little of the dressing and cranberries.
I hope they'll save some for us, Dick, but certainly we're getting our share of treats on the field today with an explosive start by both these teams. Pressure shifting now to the Houston Oilers defensive team. They'd like to stop Dallas, get another chance at that football. Right now the Cowboys would like to keep going with their offensive surge.
Staubach has moved very effectively. First 2 possessions to 2 touchdowns, long drives. He starts from the 33. Dorsett fumbles, and Houston has recovered. It appeared to be Darrell Hunt, the rookie from Oklahoma, falling on the loose ball. A flag is down, but I think that's against Dallas for illegal motion.
Dick, when I talked to Tom Landry earlier, and he said he couldn't put his finger on why his team has had trouble, he said, I do know one thing. The normal plays that have been big plays for us just aren't falling together, and we have made critical mistakes. Now, here is one of those critical mistakes. Dorsett, who's made a couple of big plays, bumps into the quarterback Staubach right there. The ball popped loose. Just a very simple situation of handing that football off, and bam, turnover. Houston has an opportunity. Big play by the defense.
Ball at the 32. Pastorini to Campbell. Campbell wrestled down at the 30, and a flag is down as well. Going back to that turnover quickly, in the last 4 games plus this one, Dallas has gotten the ball once and have given it up 11 times. You can't survive when that kind of ratio.
Not that kind of turnovers. We have a flag on the field. They're going to call Mo Towns for holding. So Houston has also had some critical mistakes during the year. In fact, during the early part of the season, we're plagued by, there's our turnover table, Dick, in the last 4 games. The thing you talked about, 10 Dallas turnovers, and they've only taken the ball away once.
Now
That's
it's
a -9. Now it's 11-1. Talking about now the Houston Oilers problem, earlier in the year they had more holding penalties than they knew what to do with. Stopped all kinds of drives for them, and right now they've just been assessed 10 yards. what looked to be a perfect opportunity to get back into this ballgame, tie it up, has not been erased, but Pastorini's going to have to work harder at it.
First down 20 at the Dallas 42. 3.5 minutes left first quarter. Mike Renfro, 82, is in for the first time. Screen to Burrow. Didn't work. Number 25, Aaron Kyle, made the tackle, but it was Harvey Martin that spoiled the play.
Great pursuit from the inside. And if you want to see a hustling defensive lineman, you just watch Harvey Martin get out there to the inside. Now, on the outside, Kyle had taken the outside position away from Burrow. He couldn't go to the outside. Martin took away the inside position. I have to tell you, we said, could you take off the hat, Harvey? He said, this is the way I look all the time. So we let him wear it. When you're that size, Dick, you can look any way you want to look.
Doggone betcha. Second down 20 from the 42. Pastorini going long, and Burrow is open. But the ball hits Kyle in the back. Incomplete. Now Renfro is arguing that Kyle had his hand in Burrow's face. That is illegal. You can be facing the receiver and not the ball, but you can't wave your hand in the eligible receiver's face.
Well, he didn't wave his hand, and that saved him a penalty right here because he had completely lost Ken Burrow. Watch Burrow turn him around here. Kyle is driving right here. He does not know where that football is. Gets his hands up, and whoa. I think you might be able to say he was waving, or would you say he was just trying to get his balance?
Well, the key, though, Merlin, is that Pastorini had a man wide open and didn't throw it long enough.
Pastorini has had arm trouble, and even though he is throwing much, much better, he is still not getting the kind of fire on that ball that he's capable of.
Third and 20, 3 wide receivers in. Pastorini in trouble, and a flag is down, so is Pastorini. And a little late hit by David Stoll, 65, in there for the pass rush. It appeared to be holding against Dallas, and the defense celebrates. Holding against Houston.
Obviously, you don't take the penalty back there. You've already lost the yardage. Pastorini suffers from a lack of mobility. He took so many shots early in his career. In fact, I can remember when he could run as well as any quarterback around. But as he's just been beaten down and those legs have been torn up over a period of time, he does not move around well back there, and that hurts his performance as a quarterback.
Houston recovered Dorsett's fumble at the 32. 3 plays later, it's 4th and 29 at their own 49. Parsley to kick. Beautiful high spiral. Wilson at the 10. Cut down at the 11, and a flag is down as well.
We had a clip.
Richard Ellender, number 85, made the tackle, even though he was clipped as he made the hit. 41-yard kick by the Oilers. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
Certainly so far in this ball game, we would have to say that the Dallas Cowboys have responded to the challenge that Tom Landry laid out for them. They had a defensive meeting earlier in the week, too, called by the veteran players, not attended by the coaches. Talked to D.D. Lewis before the game, and he said we had to sort some things out for ourselves. We knew that we were not playing as well as we were capable of playing. Right now, the Dallas defense is playing as well as the Dallas offense, which is awfully well early in this ball game.
Your comment about Henderson, does that help the Cowboys or does it hurt them today?
I think emotionally it may have brought them together. I think it may have brought them together, and I can't help but feel that maybe that was one of the things that motivated Tom Landry to make his decision.
First down at the 6 for Dallas, leading 14-7. Staubach to Newhouse. Draws the crowd out around the 8-yard line. We get official word from the press area that the fumble was not charged to Dorsett, but to Roger Staubach. Staubach charged with the fumble, not Dorsett. Houston recovered, but couldn't do anything with it.
Well, it was an indication, really, that Dorsett really didn't get a chance to take control of the football, which was proven by our pictures, as you saw the fumble just being bounced off of his body by Staubach. And again, some of the simplest things can go wrong in all of the wrong places for you. Staubach would like to get this one out of his own territory, give himself some room if he can.
Staubach has been perfect so far. from his own end zone. He's in trouble. Gets it away. Complete to Cosby to the 15-yard line, just short of the first down. Doug Cosby, rookie from Santa Clara, same school that produced Dan Pastorini.
If you have any wonder as why Roger Staubach is one of the great big play quarterbacks in the NFL, watch him pick out the open receivers. Doug Cosby, number 84. Cosby just goes down, hooks up in the zone there. Staubach found time to throw that football. We're going to go behind the quarterback, give you a look down on the pits. Rogers under pressure here. He's going to be blindsided from the backside. Just steps up, gets away from the rusher. Washington fires the ball. What a beautiful play, and what smart football from Staubach.
3rd and 1. Newhouse. First down and more. Flag is down. Newhouse all the way to the 41-yard line. And his own version of the straight arm on the way. But it may be called back. We'll see. It's offside or no, that's just a resting position.
Holding. You had to wonder how that play opened up so widely to the outside. Somebody just flat got tackled in there, Dick.
So a 27-yard run by Newhouse called back. That was not unlike Campbell's run for a touchdown once he got in the open.
I wonder if Tom Landry's ever worn a cowboy hat like the one that Bum Phillips has on.
That looks like the hat you wore, the one that Bum has on with a little rattlesnake band on it. You going to wear that hat for us at halftime? Your hat?
I may put it on, you bet. If you're doing a game between Houston and Dallas on Thanksgiving Day, you ought to wear a cowboy hat. Where's your cowboy hat, Dick?
Well, I was just wondering. No wonder that my Daniel Boone hat didn't work. Ball is marked back to the 12-yard line to match the number on the quarterback's back. 3rd down, 8. Pearson to the left, Hill to the right. Both of them have 46 catches this year. Billy Joe Dupre also to the left, and Preston Pearson, a triple left. First time out of the spread, and Staubach going to run it. Not quite to a first down. He had to get across the 15, and the Cowboys almost knew that's where they had to build a wall to stop him.
Well, and they knew exactly, the defenders knew exactly where that first down line was. They just built the line across and saved it right down in the pits with Roger Staubach. Watch the pressure coming at him now. Sees the opening right there and quickly reacts to it, runs, hoping for the first down, but he's smart enough to know that when you can't get the first down, don't get hurt. Don't get banged up.
Danny White kicks it away, drives it deep. Richard Ellender at the 43. He's at the 50, flags are down, and Ellender is finally dragged down by Brinson at the 40-yard line. But it appears Houston, an illegal block to free their return man.
And what a shame. The finger was pointed at number 36, Carter Hartwig, and his block was actually away from the play, was not a necessary block. A fine return is going to be nullified by that penalty. There you see the signal from the official, an illegal block thrown. Boy, that's really a shame for Houston. They still get the ball, though, in excellent field position, but not nearly as good as it would have been.
We hope you'll join Merlin, myself. We have different assignments on Sports World this Saturday. An excellent show. We'll be in Los Angeles. Linda Fratiani, Ty Babylonia, Randy Gardner, JoJo Starbuck, some of the outstanding figure skaters in the United States and the world in Star Skates. Merlin from Leningrad will have the World Invitational Weightlifting Championships along with John Brody. Also the Legends of Bowling with Jay Randolph. All next Saturday on Sports World.
Chance to see the new emerging Russian super heavyweight Sultan Rakhmonov on Saturday, Dick. He's an exciting performer.
Pastorini on first down. Has a man open, can't hit Renfro at the 46-yard line. Benny Barnes, 31 on the coverage for the Cowboys.
That's the kind of pass that literally disappeared from this Houston offense early in the year. Pastorini's arm was bothered so much that he couldn't throw anything that took a straight line throw like that sideline pattern. He has done better recently, though.
And is it not for the fans at home to judge a quarterback as to whether he is healthy or whether his age is taking something out of the arm? Is the long out pass. If you can't throw that, that shortens the field, and usually is a demarcation. That out, in this case, Pastorini can throw it. Earlier, he could not.
That's the first page of the last chapter.
Nicely said. Incomplete to Burrow. Randy Hughes in front. 0-0 from Texas Southern.
Pastorini and Burrow have worked well many times over the years, and Pastorini not too happy because he felt that that one could have been caught. The ball thrown very sharply to Burrow, who was coming out of traffic. It was not an easy catch, but one that Burrow normally would make.
Burrow has recorded a song, the Super Bowl Itch, implying that the Oilers are about ready to scratch and hope to come up with something big, and they're 9-3 here on Thanksgiving Day.